Media. Ready, take bars and tone. Take bars and tone. Ready, take slate. Take slate. Ready, lose slate. Lose slate. Ready, roll open. Roll open. Ready, music full and effect 4. Music full and effect 4. Ready, music under and cue announcer. Music under and cue announcer. Ready, dissolve 3, cue host.
Shining a light on the ideas, culture, and people of this
Dissolve 3, cue host. Ready, key title.
Hello.
Key title.
and
Ready,
welcome to
lose key.
Spotlight. I'm your host, Michaela Connors, and today
Lose
I
key,
will be
ready, 1.
introducing you to the Lansing local band called Heartsick. We're joined here today
Take
by
1, ready,
Alfonso
2.
Civile, lead singer in the band Heartsick, and Sapphire Noel,
Take 2,
a
ready, 3.
collaborating vocalist for the band Heartsick.
Take
So
3,
my
ready,
first
1.
question is going to be for Alfonso. Can you tell me about the name of the band?
Take
Yeah,
1,
so the name
ready,
of the
key
band,
name, key name.
Came
Ready to
2014.
lose key?
It used to be called something different. The band's name
Lose
was No
key.
Life. It was spelled
Ready,
K-N-O-W-L-I-F-E. We had 2 managers that came in and asked us how we felt about changing the name, and we were very hesitant because we'd work on the No Life name for a long, long
Take
time.
3, ready, 1.
And then it just so happened that our drummer passed away.
Take
during
1.
that time. And a
Ready,
name
3.
change seemed fitting because he hated the original band name. So we were going through band names, and Heartsick was the one that everybody liked, and it's sort of twofold, like a name that honors our former member who passed away, but also just gave way to sort of what the band had become.
Take 3.
Wow, thank you very much for sharing.
Ready,
I'm sure
2.
that must have been difficult, but a very good change for the band as well. And
Take
then, can you tell
2.
me, Sapphire, a little bit about how
Take 2.
you, I guess, became a fan of the band?
Ready,
So
key
yeah,
name,
I was
key
just
name.
going to shows.
Ready, lose key.
Like watching a bunch of other local bands, and
Lose key,
they
ready,
were
3.
at one of the shows that I went to, and that's how I found out about them.
Take
and
3.
I looked them up when I got home.
Ready,
and
2,
just
take
started
2.
listening to them from then on.
Ready, 3.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Take 3.
So back to
Ready,
you,
1.
Alfonso. What inspired you to, in part, start the band?
Take 1.
Well, I was back home in Miami. I'm originally from Miami, Florida.
Ready,
and
3.
It's just I was in bands back home in Miami. I always wanted to be a musician.
And then if we could get a
and when I made the
2-shot
commission
on
state,
camera
I came
2.
Here, there wasn't really much going on campus, and I didn't really know anybody. And just met our guitar player here in school, and we just kind of started writing songs, and we knew we wanted to start a band. And then from there, we just looked
Take
for
3,
musicians
ready,
that were wanting
1.
to do a band, and it just kind of evolved from there. It was just
Take
at the
1.
end of the day, it was just for us. We just wanted to get
Ready, 3.
play shows, house parties, and drink free beer. That's really what it was about, honestly. But
Yeah.
it just became so much more than that.
Take 3.
Wow, that's great. So it seems like it's
Ready,
turned into
2.
something really special for you guys. And as a fan, Sapphire, what would you say really drew you into Heartsick as and I guess in the genre of heavy metal in general? What inspired you to look more into that?
Take 2.
So
Ready,
I
3.
started listening. Well, I got shown metal when I was a kid. My mom and my dad were super into that kind of stuff.
Take 3, ready, 2.
So, yeah, when I was a kid, I was like
Take 2.
listening to Marilyn Manson and Limp Bizkit. And those are my favorite
Ready, 3.
things to listen to. So then I started going to like smaller local shows, and yeah, when I found them, I just really liked how hyped they got, like the crowd and stuff like that. It was just a lot of fun.
Wow.
Take
that's
3.
great. Well, Alfonso,
Ready,
as
1.
somebody who's on the stage, can you tell me about one of your favorite aspects of being a musician?
Take 1.
Being on
Ready,
stage
3.
is honestly probably the best part about it. It's because you just sort of like
1 minute to
I don't
commercial.
know. There's this degree of a level
And
of
then
control
camera
that
2
you
can go
have
back to normal.
over a crowd of people, and I think that's just like super addicting. You know what I'm saying? Like people are there and they're like wanting to be led to something, and I think that your job is to lead them to this
Ready,
sort of
3,
like
take 3.
idea of what fun is within
Ready, 1.
musical notes.
Take
so
1.
yeah, being on stage is probably like the best part of it, and just
Ready,
getting
3.
people into what you've created and seeing their reactions.
30
and trying to get
seconds
the
to
reactions
commercial.
that you want out of them. Raise your hand or like yell or that kind of stuff. So
Take
That's
3.
great. And then, a quick question for you, Sapphire.
Ready, 2.
What is your favorite song? by
Take 2.
Heartsick?
Moxie. Definitely Moxie.
Ready, 3. 15 seconds to commercial.
Wonderful. Well, next up,
Take
we're
3.
going to shine a little more light
Ready, white
on what
bumper.
it's like to be in a heavy metal band like Heartsick. But first, this message.
White bumper. Ready, fade commercial.
Hang on just a second.
Fade commercial. Ready, fade 3. Mike and Q host.
What makes a spark
I'm sorry, what?
a spark? The relentless drive to turn question marks into exclamation points. Believing that we are strong as one, but extraordinary together.
And then
it's
just a
our
reminder,
impact
after the
that
first
matters
question, we're going
most.
to the roll-in.
What makes a Spartan is what's
So it's
inside.
going to ask and answer one
The
question
commitment
and
to
straight to
something
roll-in.
bigger. Because the world never stops asking. Who will? Spartans will.
Fade 3. Mike and Q host. Ready, 1.
Welcome back to Spotlight, shining a light on Heartsick with our guest Alfonso
Take
Sevilla,
1, ready,
the
2.
lead singer in the band Heartsick, and Sapphire Noel,
Take 2, ready,
the
3.
collaborating vocalist for the band Heartsick. So Alfonso,
Take 3. Ready,
can
1.
you tell me what some of the strengths are that you guys have as a band?
Take 1. Ready, key title.
definitely are like
Key
our
title.
dynamic.
Ready,
I
lose
mean,
key.
We've been friends for forever. I mean, we
Lose
started
key.
the
Ready,
band
take
since
3.
day one. All of us, between myself, guitar player, and bass player. The new drummer that we've added, he just fits in really well.
And
with
then
us.
if we could
But I think
ready
our
the
strengths
image,
really
the first image
lie
of the band.
in our personalities. I think
And
that's
then
what really draws
key
people
image.
in. Once, I think when people see the band and they see them live, they're like, "Oh wow, cool."
Ready,
But
lose image,
once you
and lose
meet
image.
The band members, I think that's when people
then
are
ready,
really
3.
like, "This is the band for me."
That's great.
Take 3.
And Sapphire, can you tell
Ready,
me
2.
a little bit more? I heard before that you guys were collaborating.
This is supposed to be the
they
roll-in.
collaborated on a song with the band. So can you tell me a little bit more
So
about
I guess
how
after
that
this,
came to be?
really quickly. Take 2.
Yeah. So I had never done anything
Ready,
like
key
that
title,
before.
key title.
And Alfonso
Ready, lose
asked
key.
me if I would, and I said no.
Lose key.
And then he showed up at my house anyway.
And then if we put Q for the
And
roll-in after this.
he
All right, ready,
put
3.
me in a
It's gonna be the
recording
roll-in.
studio with lyrics. He gave me no direction. Just
All
Oh my
right,
gosh.
and
Well,
take 3.
That sounds like chaos. But now that we have a general understanding
Ready, roll
of
green and
Heartsick,
fade green?
let's take a deeper look behind the band's name before showcasing Heartsick on tour.
Roll green, fade green. Ready, fade 3 and Q host.
I just want you to wake up. But look at her. It's sad.
All right, so my name is Alfonso Sevilla. I am the lead singer of the band that I'm in. That band is called Heartsick. Heartsick is a heavy metal band that was started here in Lansing, Michigan, and has been around under the name Heartsick for about 8 years. Heartsick is special to me specifically, and I think to the rest of my band members, because myself, our bass player, and our guitar player have been in the band together for almost 24 years. The band used to be called No Life, and it was spelled Knowlyfe. The reason why we changed our name is because our drummer passed away. In 2014, our drummer unfortunately went to sleep and did not wake up, and he always hated the band name that we had.
So now you can bring my pearl back one that I need.
We sort of came up with the band name Heartsick because it kind of represented like how we were feeling over that loss, and trying to get over that and sort of to honor him. So that's kind of how we got with the name. So it definitely has a lot of really deep meaning, you know, when we think about it and when we talk about it.
How long on this?
The interaction with the fans is always
Probably like a minute or so.
genuine. We really care about people. We
Gotcha.
still look at this as something we do for fun. It just grew. This was just, you know, a bunch of dudes who were like, how do we get free beer and play heavy metal? Like that was the goal, and that was it, you know? Like, and skip class. Like that's what it was.
Well, now that you learned a little bit about Heartsick, let's take a look at what a show is really like.
We're gonna cue again. Not right now, but in a second. Alright, once again, ready, fade 3, and cue host.
So what I'm saying is tell Michaela that when she comes back to this, she's going to go right to the prompter. So we need to change the prompter where it is. Move the prompter up to going into the second commercial. Going into the second commercial. Not the first one.
Gotcha.
The second one. Down, 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 down.
Alright.
There we go.
Fade 3, cue
Throw it to the
host.
commercial.
Welcome back, and next up, we'll touch a little bit
Ready,
more
fade commercial?
on Heartsick's
Music should be on,
achievements. But first, this message.
Fade commercial. Ready, fade bumper.
So tell Michaela, way to punt. Really good.
And then if we could ask some of the tour questions after this, that'd be ideal. Fade bumper, ready, wipe 3, and cue host. Wipe 3, cue host, ready 1.
Welcome back to Spotlight, shining a light on Heartsick with our guest,
Take 1, ready,
Alfonso
2.
Seville, the lead singer in the band Heartsick, and Sapphire
Take 2,
Noel,
ready, 3.
a collaborating vocalist for the band Heartsick.
Take 3,
So,
ready 1.
Alfonso, knowing that Heartsick likes to tour as often as possible, what's an average day like on tour?
Take 1, ready,
Sitting
key
in a
title,
van down
key
by the
title,
river.
ready, lose key,
No, I mean realistically, it's funny. People's perception.
lose key. And then if
of
we
what
could
touring
ready
is
the
like is
image
vastly
of
different
Alfonso.
than what touring is actually like. I mean, you spend
And then
pretty
key
much most
image.
of your day in the van getting to the next venue, and then you get to the venue,
Ready,
you have to
lose
unload all
image.
your stuff, you do your sound check, and you're pretty much just
Lose
stuck there.
image.
I mean, that's really what being on tour
Ready,
is
3.
like. You know, if you're meeting up with fans, you're doing that, but there's no real time to like go explore or
Take
go
3,
do
ready,
these
1.
things. Sometimes there is, but realistically, the bulk of the
Take 1.
time is van, drive, load,
Ready, 3.
show, load, van, drive. That's what it's like being
Take
on
3, ready 1.
Rough.
100%. Yeah.
Wow.
We're
Okay,
probably
so
ready
that sounds
to
like a
now,
lot of
ready
work.
to.
And
Ouch.
the Sapphire, I have a connecting question for you based on this. If you have gone on tour with Heartsick to perform at all, what was that experience like for you?
Take 2, ready, key title,
Yeah,
key title.
it was a lot of
Ready,
sitting
lose
in the
key?
van with a bunch of
And
dudes
lose key.
just chilling in the van.
ready 3,
Oh my gosh.
take 3.
That sounds like
And
a
then
nightmare,
if
but
we
maybe
could
not so much.
get a
If
3
you-
shot
If you know the beats,
on-
then
Yeah.
Yeah.
camera
Well,
too.
Alfonso, I have another question for you, just about on stage. If you have performance anxiety ever, how do you deal with it?
And ready, 1, take 1.
I have performance.
And can we get a
performance
3-shot
anxiety
on camera
every
too?
single time we play.
Like over the shoulder.
It's never like I've never lost the feeling of like.
Ready, 3,
this
take 3.
feels like repetitive. It doesn't. It always
Ready, 1,
feels
take
like
1.
I'm always excited to be on stage. Like every single show, it does not matter. But I find myself that the anxiety hits more when it's a smaller crowd.
Ready, 3.
So we just did a show here in Lansing. We did a private show for our VIP.
Take 3. Ready, 2.
people, and
Take
it
2.
was just like
Ready,
just 30
3.
people, and it was just super like weird because there was not a lot of people.
Ready,
but
3,
put me in front
and
of 10,000 people, and it feels like it's fine. I'm kidding.
take 3.
That's great. And also, I'm thinking
And
about
then if we could go
Sapphire,
back to
you
normal for
perform
that
on
really, really
occasion with
quickly.
Heartsick. As somebody who maybe is a little
Back
bit
to
more of an
normal on
introvert,
Sapphire
what is
for
that anxiety like? Is it present or?
And
Very,
take 2.
very present.
Ready, 3.
Before the first time I went on stage with them, I cried before the first time because I was having so much
Take 3.
anxiety.
Ready, 2.
Gosh.
I had no idea that was. a thing.
Take 2.
No, I
That's
cried.
hilarious.
Yeah, I was standing with Jared and I was crying.
Oh,
3,
And
take
then
3.
I don't even remember being on stage the first time.
Ready,
I
2,
blacked
take 2.
out up there. I have
1
no
minute's
idea.
commercial. Take 2.
well,
You're such a goober.
we
Ready,
I'm sure
3,
we
take 3.
all are thinking the same thing when we
Ready.
say that we appreciate that you've come on stage and been willing to perform despite the anxiety.
2, take 2.
Well, so
Ready, 3,
speaking
take
of
3.
touring, do you, Alfonso, do you guys
Ready,
have
1.
any upcoming shows?
Yeah.
Take 1.
So we have a
Ready,
lot
3.
of shows coming up next year. We start picking up shows again in February, and we'll be gone for like 3 days out to New Jersey.
30 seconds to
Pennsylvania, and
commercial.
back. And then we go out and we go play some shows in Puerto Rico for a week, and then we come back, and then around that time starts the festival season, so we'll probably be doing a tour between May through August or whatever. So.
15 seconds to commercial.
That's
Take
great.
3.
Well, next up, we're actually going to touch on what's next.
Ready,
for
white bumper?
Heartsick. But first, this message.
White bumper. Ready, fade commercial. And fade commercial.
When do we give up?
Ready,
When do we
fade
just
bumper.
close our eyes and say, that's it?
You do what?
This water's too polluted. This disease too far along. To a Spartan,
So 2
the
minutes
answer's
is
simple.
1 minute.
Never. Because Michigan State was founded on the belief that our purpose is to make the world a better place. And when you're open to unconventional thinking, you value people's differences and are willing to work harder, push farther, and forge true partnerships. Then and only then can you solve the world's toughest problems. Better, faster. Like renewable energy, clean water, Parkinson's disease, and fighting malaria. Things Spartans work on every single day, all without fanfare. Because we know our true triumph lies in the impact we make on the world around us. And after all, if we don't do it, who will? Spartans will.
Fade bumper. Ready, wipe 3 and cue host. Wipe 3 and cue host. Ready, 1.
Welcome back to Spotlight, shining a light on Heartsick with our guest
Take 1,
Alfonso
ready, 2.
Seville, the lead singer in the band Heartsick. and
Take 2,
Sapphire
ready,
Noel,
3.
the collaborating vocalist for the band Heartsick.
Take 3.
So
Ready,
we're
1.
gonna go a little bit off topic here, and we're gonna talk about something really cool. Alfonso, can you tell me what your favorite tattoo that you have is and why?
Take
Favorite
1.
tattoo
Ready,
is
key
probably my
title.
neck tattoo, and it's because it's about my
Key
home
title,
country,
ready,
Puerto
lose key.
Rico. The front is also about my
Lose key.
home state, Florida, and Miami. It's 305.
Ready,
and in
3.
the back,
Take 3.
it's the mural of the
Take 3.
the fort
Ready,
on
1.
the beach in Old San Juan.
Take 1.
Is that just him
Pretty
moving
much
his
what it is
head
about.
that's making that
Wonderful.
audio? Geez,
And Sapphire,
Ready, 3, take 3.
I'm gonna ask you the exact
I
same
know.
question.
Ready,
What's
2.
your favorite
Really
tattoo and
was-
why?
Take 2.
That would be my
Ready, key
seahorse
title?
tattoo.
Key title?
I got it from my grandma.
Ready, lose
I
key.
named the seahorse Peak
and
Eye
lose key.
because that was her nickname for me.
Ready,
So,
3. Take
yeah,
3.
That's my favorite tattoo.
That's lovely. Well,
Ready,
so going a
1.
little bit more into the topic of Heartsick, Alfonso, what is the best advice that you've been given as an artist?
Take 1. Ready,
Best
3.
advice that I've been given as an artist is keep going, don't quit. I think there is a especially today in today's society, there's this idea
We
that
could
success
get
comes quickly.
a over-the-shoulder shot
Especially
on
now you
camera
have
too,
like
really quick.
Instagram and TikTok and all this
And
stuff,
ready,
and you think that
three,
people
take
just
three.
sort of become famous out of
Ready,
nowhere.
two.
But the reality is, it takes a really long time, especially
And
in entertainment,
take
to
two.
get anywhere and
Ready,
do
three.
anything. So my
1 minute to
advice
close.
is just keep going, don't quit, just stick to your guns.
And then ready, three,
Wow,
take
that's
three.
great advice.
And then if we
I'm
could get
gonna
back to
take that
Sapphire.
now, by the way. And then for you, Sapphire,
two.
what is the greatest thing that you've learned from being friends with members of Heartsick, and especially Alfonso?
Take two. Ready, three.
The greatest thing I've learned, just like how hard they actually work. I see a lot of that.
30
and
seconds
I've
to
learned,
close.
like, a lot about like what happens, like how to make a song, and I think that that's really cool that I got to learn how to do that, and I've learned patience from them. I think because I see like what they
15 seconds to close.
go through.
Take three.
That's great. Well, thank
Ready,
you
one?
guys both for your advice and everything. And unfortunately, our time is up for this segment. I want to thank you, Alfonso Seville, for joining us
Take
today.
one.
Thanks for
Ready.
having me.
Absolutely.
Ready, three.
And then to you, Sapphire, as
Take
well.
three.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Ready, two, take two.
So
Ready,
it's
three,
been a
take
true
three.
joy talking with Heartsick and fellow
Ready,
members
dissolve
today.
four, and cue
Thank
announcer.
you for tuning into this
Four,
episode
get their
of
heads in.
Spotlight. I'm your host, Michaela Connors, and we'll see you next time.
Dissolve four, cue announcer. Ready, effect credits.
Spotlight is a production of MSU Media and Information and was produced and directed entirely by Michigan State University students. Join us
Effect-
next time for more Spotlight.
Effect credits. Ready, change page. Change page. Change page. Change page. Change page. Change page. And ready, music out and fade to black. And music out and fade to black.
Good job. Okay. Ryan.